And we will be posting all of that online. California Congresswoman Linda Sánchez is a member of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus and joins me now. Congresswoman, that was just part of an interview that Jose Diaz-Balart did today, which was just heartbreaking. That's only one of thousands and thousands of stories. It seems from our reports down on the border, from our own Mark Potter, that the flow is beginning to decrease somewhat. Perhaps the messaging, perhaps enforcement is beginning to take hold. But what do we do in terms of policy going forward?
Yeah, well, that's a tough question. There is really only one way that we're going to stop that flow entirely, and that's if we help these other countries stabilize and fight the violence that is sweeping through those countries. You know, as the United States, as a world leader, you know, we are very good about telling other countries that they must accept refugees from Syria or Ethiopia or Darfur, but when it comes to a humanitarian crisis on our own border involving children, no less, you hear this nativist, isolationist, voices saying that, oh, just ship them all back, send them all back. And what's clear is that each one of these cases needs to be evaluated. They need to have due process, and choking the funding to allow that process to go forward isn't going to expedite the removal of anybody. We need to fund the president's request to try to help process these children, find out who does qualify for refugee status or asylum, and try to connect these children with their parents.
Mark Potter, as I said, was along the border and in the Rio Grande. And here's an excerpt from one of his reports this weekend on this dangerous crossing.
This afternoon, we're along as they find a group of mothers and kids from Honduras who traveled 13 days before crossing the Rio Grande. Among them, a nervous little girl, 7-year-old Amy, who says she's alone here without relatives, hoping to find her mother in the United States. When asked where her mother lives, she doesn't know, but says it's written on a piece of paper. At first, she can't find it in her clothing bag, but then remembers with great relief it's in her back pocket and gives it to the agents.
And Amy's mother was in North Carolina, according to the paper, and she will be reunited with her mother, according to HHS policies. But what about this, the money that is needed, the $3.7 billion we're hearing over the weekend from your Republican counterparts in the House? They're not going to go there. They think it's either too excessive or they don't like the way it's structured. What is the prospect for getting this through the Congress? Well,
you know, I find it incredible that they are the ones that are crying the loudest for us to send these children back, and yet they're choking the bottleneck part of the system, which is the processing of these claims and the hearing of these claims by immigration judges. So, you know, on the one hand, they ask for something that they want, and on the other hand, they completely stymie the rational, reasonable path to allow that process to happen. I don't know how you convince people who are so entrenched on this idea that, shut down the border, militarize the border, and, just completely turn into yourself and have nothing to do with the outside world. I might add that a big problem with why these children are coming, too, is because their parents have been here. And if we were able to pass comprehensive immigration reform, something that a majority of Americans, regardless of political party, believe in, that many of these children would qualify to be reunited with their parents, and their parents could come out of the shadows and get on a pathway towards citizenship. And yet they've been completely unwilling to even allow a vote on the House floor. So there is much to blame for this problem, as they love to point the finger and blame the administration or anybody else. This is a set of circumstances that has been, bubbling up for a long time, and it's finally come to a head, and now they're screaming with their hands up and their hair on fire that something needs to be done, while they continue to sit on their hands and do nothing. And it's unconscionable.
Linda Sánchez, thank you very much, Congresswoman. Thanks for being with us today. And now